We move to that question, where our affinities lie. Where's the UK's best future, the US or the EU? Keir Starmer insists Britain doesn't have to choose between closer ties with Donald Trump's US and the EU. This is his first major foreign policy speech. He told the Lord Mayor's banquet in London both were needed for economic prosperity as well as security. He also made an overture to Donald Trump to keep up support for Ukraine, suggesting a negotiated settlement is the most likely way to end the war. Let's speak with Peter Wilding, senior political advisor to Tobias Ellwood, chairman of British Influence. And I know everybody says this, Peter, when you come on, the man that invented the word Brexit. I'll never get over that. I mean, that's going to...
I won't.
That's going to... It's a shame you couldn't copyright it and all that stuff, but... Do you remember where you were? And you too, Peter. Do you remember where you were when you first said Brexit?
Wrote an article 14 years ago. Yeah, no, hang on, 2012. And it was during the Euro crisis, the Greek Euro crisis. And I said, look, I think we've had this conversation many years ago, Ian. Grexit was the word, wasn't it? So I just said that...
oh, this was when the Greeks were having all the hassle. Is that what you were referring to?
That's right. The Greeks were having all the hassle. And an American banker, I think, said, oh, this is going to end up in Greek exit from the Euro, Grexit. So it came to me just to write an article, quite by accident here. And I just said, oh, this might be followed by another sad word, Brexit. And the whole story is, I've forgotten about it. And 4 years later, the Oxford English Dictionary gives me a call and said, we've tracked down... And you are the first fella to ever invent it. So that's my claim to infamy.
I remember somebody, you know, a producer, writing it on a cue for me, thinking, what is this word? Brexit? What is it? Bearing in mind, it didn't exist, really, other than, as you say, you'd written it in a piece. And then, of course, it's now, you know, a regular part of vocabulary and a great battleground still to this day, 8 years after the UK voted. Look, we trade more with the EU, Peter, by a country mile. Collectively with all the countries, we export, we import, we do more business there. Is that the only yardstick that a country needs to look at? This is who we trade with more, so clearly the EU should be our best friends, and we'll continue to, you know, clearly have hopefully a fruitful relationship with America as well.
Well, Britain has always had a very ambiguous relationship with the United States. After all, the United States sort of crucified the British Empire. Certainly in the Second World War and definitely after Suez, they were the grave digger of our British ambitions, global ambitions. So we'd always have this kind of strange father-son relationship with the United States. The son grows up and basically ousts the father from global leadership. However, there is a continuity about everything. I mean, I'm writing this book right now called The 10 Rules of Power, and it's quite amazing that the liberal, constitutional, democratic world started, not in England, it started in the Dutch Republic in the 17th century. They're the first people who created the idea that absolute monarchies were rubbish and we should have constitutions and democracies. And then, as your listeners and viewers will remember, William III comes over, conquers Britain, we become a liberal democratic state, and then the United States basically becomes our successor. So we've always had a strange relationship. George Bernard Shaw put it beautifully in, so, you know, two nations separated by a common language. Yeah. The last, final point, our last dealings in sort of political terms with the United States has been as a bridge. We were sitting in the middle between the United States, global superpower, and the European Union, and we could interpret both these people to each other. And of course, Brexit demolished that bridge. So to quote another great quote, actually, you know, Britain has lost an empire and has yet to find a role, and we're now seeking it. And it's quite interesting to see how people are struggling with that right now.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, there's certain inevitables. Obviously, we do keep trading. We export, we import, etc. That doesn't change. I guess it's to what degree, right? And whether the deals that we have are as good as they once were. We've never signed this new trade deal with the United States that was talked about after Brexit. I think Liz Truss said she was going to make it happen. There was all these sort of micro deals, state by state, which, as you will know, Peter, aren't really deals at all. They're just statements of intent that we would happily trade with the UK if that situation arose, which in Utah or Iowa, it's probably not going to arise in an autonomous fashion. So there was a lot of talk about it. I wonder whether anything will change at all under Donald Trump, unless the tariff thing comes in.
Absolutely. I mean, you mentioned trade, and sorry, I didn't answer your first question appropriately. I think we look through the prism of geopolitics in our country through trade. I mean, trade's important, of course, but values are important as well. And trade shouldn't be the only way we look at relations. I mean, the United States, plainly, after Brexit, the Brexiters wanted a trade relationship, a free trade deal. That hasn't come. And I think the Starmer point, which is why we're here, is it's really kind of cop-out, Ian. It's kind of muddled through situation. Oh, we don't have to choose. Attlee didn't have to choose. And it's rubbish. Attlee did have to choose. In 1950, the Korean War broke out. Britain had to choose to send troops to Korea. That stopped Ernie Bevan, the then Foreign Secretary, from doing his big foreign policy, which was to create a big relationship with Europe, a colonial relationship with France and Africa, and an equal relationship with America. And that was blown out of the water. Suez blew the relationship out of the water. Iraq blew the relationship out of the water with Europe in that case. So trade is not the only thing. And I think Starmer saying we won't have to choose. You're going to have to choose, Starmer, but it's not going to be your choice. These choices will be forced upon you. So consequently, if Trump says we're imposing a 20% tariff on the European Union, that is a choice.
Yeah.
And the United Kingdom is going to decide, well, hang on, we're going to have to negotiate with the European Union now because we do not want to have an equivalent 20% tariff if we then choose to associate with the United States. And the United States are highly likely to play the United Kingdom off against the European Union. It's going to be power politics. And the sad truth about Keir Starmer is that he might have been a great DPP, Director of Public Prosecutions, but he's no politician. And I think it was, somebody said in the Times today, he's bland with good intentions. And
well, he's certainly bland.
He's certainly bland, Ian. And the problem is that bromide won't stand the test of the next 6 months because power politics will intervene. And the European Union will say to us, right, you're going to make a choice. Are you going to stand in the middle? And of course, the immortal line, if you're in the middle of the road, you're going to get run over.
True. Listen, Peter, thank you for your time as ever. He's Peter Wilding, Senior Political Advisor, formerly to Tobias Ellwood and others, Chairman, British Influence, and creator of the word Brexit.